It's episode 2 of the Late Apex, and we talk sim racing hardware from Logitech and SimLab, as well as all the latest news within the sim racing world. And of course, myself versus Sam, he returns yet again. Hello and welcome. Well, we're back for episode 2 of the Late Apex. They gave us another go, Sam. It can't be that bad, surely. Well, we've got, as usual, an absolute action-packed show for you, but we're going to get straight into sim racing hardware. Of course, the news that Logitech, brand new wheel coming out, the G Pro racing wheel, and Pro pedals to go with it as well, Sam. Now, it's direct drive, the wheel, but it's mounted to your desk, like the traditional Logitech wheels. I'm not sure about how that might roll.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Anyone who's ever driven a direct drive wheel knows that, of course, when you turn with the load, the very high load that, of course, goes through, I think, 11 Newton meters in this new Logitech model, it's just going to, try to pick up your desk pretty much when you try to turn the wheel. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, but it's just really interesting to see Logitech kind of go into this world. They've been a bit reluctant to over the years, of course. I mean, my first wheel was a G25. I then went to a G29. I'm sure many kind of people watching as well started out with Logitech. So it's sort of the next kind of evolution of that, where people will have that option to go into a more advanced kind of sim racing wheel and try out direct drive through Logitech themselves.
I suppose it's the next logical step really for Logitech, in the sense of it's keeping them in their ecosystem of Logitech, obviously with just, standard wheels and pedals. From that, everyone was moving away. SimiQ being incredibly popular right now. Fanatec, they really encompass that part of the market where they've got everything right from the base level all the way up to direct drive.
Yeah. And there's also moving into the pedals market as well, Logitech as well. They've got their new pedals, which are again kind of rivaling that more kind of high-end sim markets.
And load cell as well, crucially.
Exactly, yeah, and adjustable springs as well that you can have. It's a little bit pricey, obviously, as you'd expect. £999 at the moment is the cost for it. So obviously, it's kind of getting into that realm of its competitors.
And you mentioned about the price as well, Sam. I've seen a lot on Reddit and Twitter that the price has jumped up by around about £150 sterling, $200 within the past 48 hours of them being released. Clearly there must be a demand for them to doing, but what worries me, are they just outpricing themselves a little bit too much here?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, like when we actually had to change the script slightly earlier today, because when we were writing notes for this, the prices had jumped up for both the pedals and the wheel. And I mean, from what I've seen, the response has been really strong. People are really excited about this. But yeah, with it being sort of their first foray into this field, you wonder, will it be the standard of their rivals who are in that price range, but of course they've got a lot more experience where you've maybe got a bit more confidence going into it. So it'll be interesting to see how it holds up.
Looking across into SimLab, well known for their rigs, really good quality. I've got one as well. But they're making that next step, aren't they, into more the peripherals part of the market, aren't they, Sam?
Yeah, they've recently announced their new handbrake, or at least showed images of it, which I think we've got on the screens at the moment. And so that will be a cool thing that they are moving into. Also dashboards as well, it looks like they're going to get into, and also brake pedals as well. So they're sort of another one who are kind of branching out into all these different aspects, a little bit like Logitech, where they might be producing their own kind of load cell pedals as well in 2023.
Really? New games, of course, we've got Dakar Desert Rally, and new details. You can see it in the background there being released. Looks absolutely beautiful graphically. I mean, the swooping images of the cameras cutting around. The Dakar Rally, a little bit changed, of course, from its original format. Of course, it used to be the Pirates of Dakar. I mean, there's a whole raft of vehicles, aren't there, Sam? I mean, you see some of them going on in the background right now. There's the DAF truck, twin turbo. We've got, from the 80s, you've got the Peugeot a 405 turbo, the 1.6, and lovely, 16 even, a lovely iconic car. They're both playable in the game, and there's going to be, I'm sure, more and more content. It's something a little bit different, maybe a little bit more towards the Simcade side of things, but even so, I mean, it's a lovely, beautiful new game coming along.
Yeah, it really does look very, very nice with the graphics that they've released. The video that we're showing at the moment was released a few weeks ago, but yeah, that new 80s content has been released in the last week or so, or at least has been announced in the last week or so. And of course, I think they've got the cars from the 2022, 2021 and 2020 season, basically since it started to be hosted in Saudi Arabia. And you know, your comments about the kind of arcade and sim racing side of it. Fortunately, they've got a few different game modes that they've announced. So you kind of got the arcadey sort of racing style where you're going up against people wheel to wheel, but then you've also got the more navigational side of it where you are completing the rally as if you are properly taking part in the event. So hopefully it will satisfy both markets, but it's just great to have a proper off-road game in, you know, an absolutely legendary event.
But moving on from there, of course, we have got, you know, into the sim racing side of things. R-Factor 2, of course, Virtual Le Mans was on. It was Bahrain, first round of the season. And, well, it was definitely an entertaining one. You know, a track that only appears within certain games, unfortunately, or sims. I've probably just got, you know, a lot of you up on your, you know, having a go at me about that one. But, of course, features the LMP2s and the GTEs. There's no LMP ones because that doesn't tend to feature. We do have the DPI within R-Factor 2, but it'd be great to see. I'm sure there'll be a raft of the brand new hypercars coming along, and that's going to be really good to look forward to. But in terms of winners, well, it was the Floyd Van Wall Burst team that ran out victorious in LMP2 and overall. And then in GTE, well, it was Oracle Red Bull Sim Racing with Yuri Kastrup at the wheel. I mean, Red Line, Red Bull, obviously all interconnected. They're a real, you know, force to be reckoned with right now in the sim racing world.
Absolutely, yeah. They were seemingly sort of the team to beat out there. There was some misfortune for Kawanda, I believe, in the event fairly earlier on, so they weren't able to challenge. But just seemed like some really epic racing all the way to the finish. I think the battle for P2 in GTE, I think, went down to literally the last lap. I mean, the last few corners just overtakes and then someone would come back again. And it was a really fantastic racing to watch. So really high quality stuff, entertaining, and yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season.
Same here, and it's great how they've managed to emulate the World Endurance Championship and provide this transition between real life racing and the sim world.
I think R-Factor have made some, you know, good work with the graphics side and just the way that the cars kind of interact with the circuit, because it may not be kind of iRacing kind of level when it comes to that sort of kind of car track kind of interaction, but it's not really. It has certainly made some progress, and yeah, the graphics as well that they got on it, like are
they look
really
stunning.
good. The animation as well, style that they got, completely kind of replicated the real life series. So it's great to see kind of that kind of level of production being carried over to the sim world.
Well, Sam, we're going to head to a quick ad break now, aren't we? And then it's Tim versus Sam part 2, of which I made a complete embarrassment of myself last time. Can I make up for it? And also we'll be talking about what's coming up this week on Apex Racing TV. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome back, and as we said before the break, it's Sam versus Tim part 2, and I'm sure I can't embarrass myself as much as last week, Sam, but I'm sure I could give it a good go, can't I?
Yeah, this could be a fantastic redemption from last week. Hopefully, I want you to win, Tim. I want you to win. but I want me to win
Cheers, Sam.
a little bit more. So we'll see how this one can go.
No pressure then whatsoever. Last week it was tracks. This week, not just cars, but car headlights more specifically. Love to hear from you in the chat, know how you get on. And I'm up first, so, well, should we get stuck in?
Yes, let's go for it.
Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got. First up, oh, that's a GT, BMW. No, not quite. Oh, no, it's the Aston Martin. Okay, this isn't a good start.
Okay, here we go.
I'm going to lean forward now, Sam, to get more engrossed.
I
Okay,
don't blame you.
here we go, into the second one. That is Audi, I can tell from the grille, R8 GT3, or the R8 LMS to be precise by its official name. Right, let's take a look at what we've got next up. Oh, I don't know on that one.
Oh, it's the
oh,
488.
God, it's a bit of a GT theme then.
Yeah, you could have had GT3 or GTE. We would have let you off on either one, but no, that's
kind.
1 out of 3 so far.
It's another GT. That is Merc. No, it's the Ford. God, that's
GT.
why I never see the Ford whatsoever.
No. Like, what? We've got the
It's
Ford in
yeah.
iRacing? We didn't know.
I thought I was meant to have slightly easier ones this week, Sam. Well, I'd paid you enough. That is another GT4. No, what's actually right? It was the Huracan.
It's the Huracan. Yep. We have had a neutral party as well create these for this week after the perceived indifference.
Yeah, there was a little bit of an indifference, wasn't there?
There was a bit of an indifference, but well, I think that was 1 out of 6, was it? Or 1 out of 5? So
Any bonus points for getting the exact model rather than just the
no,
mate? Okay.
no.
I've got to cling on to all these little bits, just a little bit.
It's an improvement at least.
Well, exactly. It's 100% improvement.
100%
So
improvement,
about episode 6, I should have them all right, really.
Yeah.
Oh, this
We'll
going
get
right.
there.
Continuing the trend on. Well, you managed 100% last week, Sam.
Yeah, let's see if I can back it up this time.
Yeah, can you cash your checks?
Okay, here we go. Is it going to be more GT cars? I wonder. I think that's the Spec Racer Ford. It is.
Oh.
Given away by the lack of headlights.
Well, I was going to say,
on that one.
I was thinking, where's the headlights on that?
That's the Beetle, I believe, the Rallycross Beetle. No!
I was going to say that's
It's
Porsche.
not.
Well, you're technically right.
It's close, close, but
Born out of the same car.
Porsche GT3 I absolutely done by that one. Oh, is that the Riley DP? It is.
Is it? Oh, I was going to say Radical.
I'm really pleased that I got that one. But yeah, it's that similar sort of shape in it. It could have been the SR8, but yeah, just the Riley old thing. That is the Cadillac. I can't remember what name it is. It's like the touring car thing. The CTSV. I'll let you decide if I get that one, Tim,
Yeah, I'll let you
by
have-
just
I'll let
naming
you have
the model. But I think that's it. Oh, one more. Oh, is that the Beetle? Maybe that's the Beetle this time. Or is it going to be another Porsche? Oh, it's another Porsche. Oh, dear me. Absolute mugged.
You did.
Oh, I feel like that could be something that haunts me. But I've got, I think, 3 on that one at least.
Yeah, I think 3 there, Sam.
So, yeah.
3 to 1. They're a little bit more closer than the whitewash, like complete whitewash last week at 5-0. But
Yes, yeah, a little bit closer
Wow.
this week. But, that's... I mean, credit to Lewis who made them. He's absolutely fooled me right there with, with the Porsches.
Good and proper.
Yeah.
Good and proper, hasn't he? And love to know how you've done it at home. If you post into the chat, what scores you managed to achieve? And maybe we managed to beat myself and Sam at all at those ones. There's some tricky ones in there, especially the Spec Racer, of course, no headlights.
Yeah.
A bit of a double bluff on that one. And then so many Beetles, hey Sam, or Porsches in there for good measure. But, well, let's move things on nicely after, well, not so much of a bad result there from myself. And talk about what's coming up ahead on Apex Racing TV. And yet again, another packed schedule to keep yourselves entertained with. And myself and Sam will be in the commentary booth for a few of these. Let's talk about Apex Racing League trucks, Sam. We've had 2, say 3 now, barnstormers of events that have come down to the wire. It's been close every step of the way. Last time out, it was Bristol. it's always going to be a bit tricky, you know, a tight oval. As much as we ought to be a bit biased here, I absolutely love the place. It's on the bucket list to visit before I die. But it was all about keeping clean, and those drivers that managed to were the ones that made their way to the front.
Yeah, it was, and that's sort of been the story throughout the season. Of course, you do get one faster pair in the championship, which does help out if you have like an early wreck. But keeping that faster pair spare and keeping yourself in play is absolutely crucial for the championship so far that we've seen. And it's just been unpredictable. I don't believe any drivers have got 2 podiums so far this season. We've certainly had 3 different winners, and I think maybe only one driver. I think
Lennart Schnabel
may have got all top 10s, I think.
Yes.
But even so he's done extremely well basically. But I don't think anyone else has got top 10 in every single round. So it's just been unpredictable. It's pretty much what we expected as well. And we're kind of moving through the season and up to round 4 already. So we're actually halfway through the normal season before we have the playoffs later on.
Of course, sticking with the American theme, new series coming to Apex Racing TV, the Apex Racing League GT Americas series, an American time zone friendly league that's coming to obviously Apex.
Yeah, so we'll be on Saturday evenings for Americans, and everyone's welcome, of course. So if you want to stay up till very late, you are more than welcome to do that. Any Aussies are welcome to join, but yeah, it's mainly aimed at North and South Americans to sign up. Just the 6 rounds, so it's a little bit of a smaller entry fee, and racing the GT3 cars, which are probably some of the most competitive and popular cars on the entire sim. So that will be a really exciting championship. We're seeing so many good races, Tim, in the GT3 trophy. I think this new season tries to replicate some of those formats, you know, the sprint races that we have and the reverse grids as well. So should be able to carry out all of that and make it accessible for a brand new audience.
How can we not mention it even? iGPFun, F3 League, big grids, big actions, runs a bit longer than the iRacing official lap counts. And, wow, I've covered it numerous times across the season, Sam. I know you've had your fair share in the commentary booth with it. It's entertaining from green through to checkered, isn't it? Every single time.
Absolutely. It's one of those series where it's a little bit of a pain for us commentators because there's so much going on that we have to, okay, there's 5 battles. Which one do we want to show on screen for the next few minutes? So it's absolutely manic stuff. And it's just great because we have over 40 drivers take part in most of the
every
rounds.
Single week as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not forget.
Yeah, so we've had a couple of rounds already this season. Round 1 went the way of Thiago Marteau, who is the winningest driver in the series. I believe that's now 30 wins in the championship, which is quite something. Anyone who's ever kind of tuned into that, you've usually seen Marteau at the front. But he missed a lot of rounds last season, so he didn't win the championship last season. But, I mean, a few drivers will be very disappointed that their hopes of the championship have been significantly reduced once Marteau arrives on the grid at round 1.
Definitely. He's one of those drivers that has absolutely scintillating pace. There's no question about it whatsoever, is there really, Sam? I mean, the likes of some of the drivers, just looking at round 1 from Monza, that the drivers finished behind him, Hermer, Lamy, all incredibly quick drivers. But this guy just seems to be just that next sort of level above them and almost alien.
Yeah, he's getting to that point, isn't he? I remember when his iRating was very low as well. I think he always does a lot of leagues. So his iRating is only like, I think, maybe sub 5K. He should be like, he's alien. Like, he's pro level as Marteau. So, he's going to be really dangerous for the championship. There was a fantastic fight in round 1, 7-car fight for 3rd position, as we'd expect, pretty much. Lucas Maruk was able to take 4th position, the defending champion from last season. We wait to see if he can kind of defend that. Apologies, took 5th position. He just lost out to Westerhoff right at the end of that race. So it'll be interesting to see if he can defend his title or whether we see Jerome Lamy, who didn't take part in a lot of rounds last season, Tim, but was still able to get P4 in the championship. 2nd position in round 1 behind Marteau. So we've got a few kind of contenders there, defending champions, established quick drivers who could all be fighting for the title this season.
But, well, that's all we've got time for this week on the Late Apex. It's been, couldn't quite beat you this week, Sam. Maybe next week.
Getting closer.
Getting closer. If you want to find out more about sim racing news, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the bell for notifications so you know when we go live and publish all our videos here at Apex Racing TV. But I've been Tim Cox with Sam Fitzpatrick, and we'll see you next week on the Late Apex.